Hello viewers, welcome you all again in my channel Indrajit Creation. Today we know about a new concept of education. So today's concept is levels of teaching. In this sessions we know clearly about the how many types of the level in education or the teaching, as well as we clearly know those types of the teaching level. So let's start. So in this class we know about the levels of teaching. We know that the in levels of teaching also classified into the three aspects or the three parts. Number one is the memory level, number two is the understanding level, and number three is the reflective level. So in this video or in this class we know only the memory level, and every part of the video we know separately the another level of the teaching. So in this year we clearly know the peaks and hunt also be classified this level of teaching into the three parts, and those are the memory level, understanding level, and the reflective level. In this video we clearly know the teaching at the memory level or the memory level. In memory level also know about the memory power of the human being. So in this year the memory is a special concept of our every human being, and how we think and how to think yourself, this is your the memory power. So in this year the memory power also classified, and we can categorize this memory power also a four diagram. So at first is a some learning and then or some experiences, some learning or experiences. Next is the retention, and next is the recall, and last is the recognition. So in this here at first we clearly know what is the learning or the experience. Suppose you at first you learn anything of the society from the books or anything else. You have learned these things or these objects or the this new idea you have learned at first. So this is your learning, and as well as you have the previous experience or a previous learning, so this is your experience. So in every conditions in our mind we learn or we have the previous experience. So this is in every fact in your life you have learned anything, this is your learning. Next is the retention. So in this here the retention is the which materials or which object you have learned properly, or you have totally experienced on a particular object, or you have a particular the any things you have learned properly. This is also the storage in our memory. So this is the retention process of our memory. When we have learned anything, and that times we are also storage in our memory. So this is the storage section is called a retention. Next is a recall. We know this recall is necessity for mind and for the society, for the any else. Suppose we know the India also freedom in 1947. So this is our knowledge, or this is our learning, or this is our experience. So this concept that India also freedom in 1947, this concept also we set up in our memory. So this is our retention, and when it is necessary to me, so that times I will be a recall, and this process is called the recall process. And recognition is there is some options here, and you have to choose the right options here. Suppose the question is the India also freedom in 1947, 1942, 1948, 1949. So in this are the four types of the options, and you know the right answer because you have the retention in your memory, and you have properly recall this, and you choose the right answer. So this is the recognition here. So this is the memory level primary conceptions of those four types of the concept of the memory. So this memory also be based on those types of the four pillar of the memory concept. So now we know about the some characteristics of the memory level. So this is our so based on the memory level factor, we can categorize or we can characterize those types of the memory level. At first, this memory level has some of the primary characteristics. So those are the number one is that this memory level is the very efficacy for the human being, and when number two is when anything is needed from our memory, then that times we can recall is and we can retention it. And next is there are the some SR conditioning here. So suppose in this here the some when which items also be which items also be retention in our memory and which items is necessary for me, that times we can SR conditioning connected here. So those are the characteristics of the memory level. Next we know about the teaching strategy of the memory level. So we know every level of the teachings has some specific strategy, and this strategy is so much effective for our learning. So in this here the memory level has some the specific or suggestive strategy for the memory level. In this here we can first selected the suggestive techniques. Number one is the repetition. So in this here if you learn anything for the repetitions, and this object will be set up in your memory for a long time. Next is the rhythm. So if we learn or if we memorize any kinds of the object or any kinds of the learning materials, that times we use rhythm. So that times we use the rhythm. So rhythm is the so effective for our the memory level, and we can learn anything again quickly from the rhythm techniques. So rhythms techniques is so much effective for the memory level. Next is the overthinking. If you think over or if you thinking more on a particular subject or a particular topic, so that topic or that subject will be set up for your memory in a long time. So in this year, if you are know this subject better, so then you think those subject over time or a long time. So this is effective for the memory level. Next is the use of reinforcement. So in this year, if you give any kinds of reinforcements for growing the memory power, or it is positive or negative, if you give some kinds of the reward, so this is the reinforcement. So if you use to the boost your memory power, so that times you must be use your reinforcements idea. Next is the chunking. So in this here the chunking is just some codes, some clues, some example to give this, and you use this chunking and use these codes or use this example for memorizing any kinds of the concept or any kinds of the word and any kinds of the date. So you boost your memory for a chunking concept or chunking techniques. So chunking is the very important techniques for improve your memory power. Next and last is the present as a whole. At first we focus on any kinds of new concept, that times we know this concept as a whole, but at first you know this whole concept, and after that you have take it as small parts, then it is effective for your memory. And if you take it in very small parts, so it is also effective for your memory power. So those are the techniques for the boost your memory power. So class, today we learn about the what is the memory level of teaching, what is the characteristics of the teaching, and what is the technique of the memory level. So in this here we have learned what is the memory level of the teaching, what is the characteristics of the memory level, and what is the techniques of improve your memory. So class, today I end this session here, and next day I will came here with a new topic. So take care, bye.